and welcome to the Healing Seat with Busisiwe Mohapi. And this is the fourth episode. And we are still laying the foundation. Please be patient. You're just getting to know Ubusi, and you're probably hurting and thinking, Ubusi is still introducing herself, telling us about all these stories, but I want the healing part. You cannot rush healing. That's one thing that you must know. You must know where it hurts first before you heal. You can rush it will never work out. But yeah, let's continue with the story. So today I'm sharing a story of how I lost my virginity. I look at girls and baya emhlangeni, and they're so proud of their virginity, and they get to they get to decide when they want to lose it, whether they are married or later on in life. Some of us didn't get to have that opportunity. We didn't get to exercise that right and say that this is how and you are proud and you talk about it. It was stolen from us, and unfortunately from me, it was stolen by a neighbor. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how I lost it, not through love, not through silence, but through grooming and fear. So this is what we're talking about today. So this episode is triggering. I will continue to say the triggering part so that you don't stay and listen and then you're triggered. But yeah, if you're a parent and you want to know some things and to understand some things, if this has happened to you or it hasn't and you want to avoid it to happen to someone, please continue listening. Yeah, so it's just not a personal story. It's a warning to parents. It's education for our generation, and this is healing for me and maybe for you too. I don't know. So it is there's a trigger warning. The episode contains themes of child abuse, grooming, and community silence. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, and I share this for healing awareness and protecting our generation. So let us just start. So before I was 13, I had already survived some emotional discomfort, like I shared on what happened to me in church. And I was getting attention from boys. Looking back now in hindsight, and I'm saying this in terms of I never saw myself as a pretty girl. I never saw myself as a pretty girl. But I'm thinking of this right now, that I always had, whether it's in our street when we're playing, everyone would be saying that, yeah, Ubusi is mine. That was the type of childhood I had. But I never saw that. I had self-esteem issues for the longest time. I only freed myself from that when I started reading books and doing some, your affirmations and all of that. So it's not something that was instilled me as a child, and I never saw myself as a pretty girl. So now so I would get attention, especially from older boys, and then that's how I lost my virginity. I will explain, but I just wanted to paint that picture that I was a child, I was violated by someone I knew, a neighbor, someone that I should have felt safe around, but yeah, I will explain how it unfolded. So I just want to start that. Remember, in the first episode, I think I explained that what type of home did I grow up in, a religious home, and my parents had left to go overseas for a year, and they came back with my little brother. So that I was around about 9-ish, I think, when they came back. So when they left, I was 8. When they came back, I was 9. Yes. So when my parents left for overseas, they came back when I was 9 with my baby brother, like I said. So at the time, we were living in Katlehong. If you know Katlehong, then you will know that there was a little bit of unrest between Katlehong and Thokoza. It was in the East Rand in the 90s, around there. There was a political violence between the township people and the people from KZN. So now and then, there would be someone who's being torched. There would be something that had happened. We were kids, we were 9, 8, but we knew, because there would always be a smell of tear gas in the atmosphere. Your eyes would be burning. It wasn't uncommon to see soldiers on the street, and we would have power outages. We wouldn't have water sometimes, and because where I live is next to a tank, so we would go there sometimes and get water. And we would go to these soldiers and ask them questions. What's your name? As kids. And I think they could see through the innocence. They would give us sweets, share their food because they had tin stuff. But it wasn't uncommon to see the SANDF in the street. So when my parents came back now in 1993, because I think they left in 92, they came back in 93. They had been hearing about the unrest, and they were like, nah, Katlehong is not for us anymore. That's where we packed our bags and we left. And from grade 1, I was in a multiracial school. I went in Joburg. And when they came back, now I had gone from being in a multiracial school to a village. And mind you, I've never done Zulu in my life from grade 1. I've never. Let alone Gemanje, Northern Sotho, Pedi. And this is the environment that we came into. I was 9 and my little sister was 6. So she was doing grade 1. I was doing grade 3. And we went there. My little brother was still 9, 10 months. So we left, packed everything, and we left. And when we got there, culture shock, it was extremely hot. We would say Dumelang, and they were like, here we say Iralocha. And so the language was new. We understood Sotho, but not Pedi. We had to learn. The first language was Pedi. We had to learn Pedi. And let me tell you, we excelled, because I believe it was because of what my mother was feeding us. Like I said, we were vegetarians. We're not eating meat. So diet played a very important role in our home. We were eating your pap, but the yellow one. We were eating our soft porridge, no cornflakes, please. It was amabele, that soft porridge, or the yellow one, and it will be filled with peanuts, your sunflower seeds, your flax seeds, sesame seeds, poppy seeds. That's the type of food that my mom fed us. Our bed would be home baked bread with avocado. We didn't eat things like jam. It would be it was a treat. And some of the things that we ate were homemade. So think of your Nara Smith. Yeah, that was our home. Mama was working in the kitchen when she was the institute that they were in, doing that diploma that they were doing for the year. Because she was pregnant, she was working in the kitchen. So she was in the chef side of things. So when she came back, we were eating green salads with radish. Do you see radish? I knew it when I was still young. It is not a aesthetics for me. It's something we would make our own granola or muesli. That's the type of home that I grew up in. So I think even the weight gain right now is just because we didn't eat junk when we were growing up. So when we started working and affording, we didn't see that it was a blessing to eat like that, So the health message was something that we learned very early in our lives. So it made us smart. So when we came there, I'm telling you, when we started from January, we were hitting straight A's. I was one of the top 5 in class, but I didn't know any language, vernacular language. I had never studied Zulu in school. I started with Northern Sotho, which is Pedi. So that's the type of home that we grew up in. So we adapted to the language, the environment. We were living in a village, and because my parents were going to build a house, we were living in a shack. We lived with another family until the lady physically abused me. When I say abuse, she hit me with a cane, and I was green on my body. It's a story for another day. Green and red, and my mother was like, "That's it, we are moving." So we went and lived in this Mkuku with the intentions of building a house. But here in Gauteng, there was a house. So Umama and no Baba, my parents would come and go back. But after 6 months, my parents were like, why are we punishing ourselves? Yes, we were living in peace in America. We came back, but it's not that bad that we must move now and take everything. So when they came back, it was around that political unrest. So they feared for their lives. They forgot that, see, now with Gogo, we're here. Gunshots were normal. In Katlehong. Gogo, if it sounds too near, she would just take us, her little hands, and we will crawl to the passage and everyone will sleep there. So Gogo nje, yeah, she was loving my paternal step grandma. So that's the type of environment that I grew up. So we came back. So I went from multiracial school and went to a village school and came back now. I had to get a school here in the township. Everything is new. The village school was new. The township school was new. And I was here and my mom said, okay, just for 6 months and then you'll be out. Then I guess when I adapted, came here and still I was part of the top 5 because of the way that we were eating. So eating healthy does help with children's brain. I'm proof of that. I've lived that life. So now we came back. Sorry, excuse me. And I went to school and I did Pedi for 3 years and I passed my grade 6, which is standard 5. Then I went back to the multiracial schools now. Hey, guys, that's when I was 18 now, and that's where the problem started. Actually, no, I'm forgetting something. So when I'm 12, this boy who lives next door, they used to live in another, if you know townships, we have sections. So he used to live in another section. This was his grandmother's place. So he would come and, he'd be courting me. We called it proposing. Courting me, wanting me to be his girlfriend, and I didn't want. And he was not the only one. So when I say I did get attention from boys, I think it's because I was pretty, but I was not aware. So now there was this other one who was a burnt victim. So, I don't want to describe a lot, but yeah, we called him Umasha. He terrified me. That boy terrified me. So I would take longer routes to get home because of these boys. So now, this one, the neighbor that I'm talking, someone who was in his senior class in high school, and I was just entering my high school. This was my first year. I was 13 years old. And one day he comes to my parents' place, because I think this is how you are asking yourself now. How old was he? He was around 16, 17. Do you remember what I said yesterday? The boy at church, he was also my senior. So this is another boy now. And I'm realizing as I'm talking to you that this thing was something that was following me. And then he was around those, he was in high school. I didn't know anything. I was just getting to high school. And now he's pestering me. I don't want, I'm just a child. And now it made me feel unsafe, but I didn't say anything at home. And that's the thing with children. Make sure that you have a good relationship. Your kids tell you anything, because it starts around 6, 7, 8, 9-ish. A child wants to tell you, Mom, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, what do you know about boyfriends? Or instead of allowing a child to express themselves, you can correct this at any time that you want. Allow a child to talk to you, get to know them, how they think, so that it will be easy for you to correct improper narratives. So because I didn't have that type of relationship with my mom, I'm not blaming her in any way. She had her own things that she was dealing with, and they are a different generation. They also didn't have people who were talking to them. So now that was how it was. So I didn't say that, that this boy, whenever I come back from school, he'd be doing this, he'll be blocking the way. They would even twist your arm, that type of thing. Just before school is out, you'll be stressing that there's this boy who's going to stop me. But you don't tell your teacher, you're not telling your parents. So fast forward, because the neighbor was my friend, his sister, and I went and asked and said, my parents are not at home, can my friend come and sleep over, because the house is big, it's just me and my little sister. And they said, okay, no, it's fine, she can come. And this one saw an opportunity. He came, he said he's watching TV, and so everyone is sleeping now. I have to lock the door. And then I tell him he has to leave. He says, no, I'm not leaving until you kiss me. And you don't want to say yes to whatever it is that I'm proposing to you. And then he violates me. That's how I lost my virginity. It was messy, man. It was messy. I was on my periods. Later on, something happened again. In your life, something happens later, it triggers that one, this one triggers that one. It's your body is storing all these emotions and all this trauma, and you are not aware. And yeah, he leaves. And so now I'm a 13-year-old. We hear stories around the time. It was this thing, if a boy does this to you or you do this to a boy, they will talk about you. And I decide, I'm a child, this happened to me, my parents come back, I don't report it, and I decide to keep quiet. And I didn't tell my parents. I know he would have been arrested, definitely, because he was older. It's statutory rape. I didn't say anything. And another thing is that after it happened, now I'm canceling myself. I'm saying, let me just say yes to him, and at least I'll become a girlfriend now, and he's my boyfriend then. But yay, everyone will be asking, what are you doing with this boy? He's not on your league. They didn't know that this is what he did to me. He would force everything. Every time there would be an encounter, I need to kiss him, we're fighting. Because remember, it all started with trauma. That's how it started. He abused me, basically. I think 13, 14, 15, for about 3 years. Everything was forced. He would come and knock at night. I will have to go out. Still, I'm not telling parents. So you are growing up with this thing of secrecy. You are not saying things. You are keeping quiet. It's becoming a norm. A lot of things happened in those 3 years. Talk to your children, please. Talk to your children. Make them feel comfortable to tell you anything that they are going through. It's very, very imperative, because now if they go through something like that, you need to take them to a doctor. They need to be checked. They need to drink certain things. Times are tough. Sometimes this happens to a child and you find that the person is HIV positive. So now imagine a child, something like this happens to them. They don't tell you, they keep quiet. There's an STI, you discover that later. Now a child also could have drank pills. So it's important to talk to your kids, talk to them, let them tell you things, let them be free. So this is what happened to me. And I couldn't, the clinic was not safe. when I get there, what will I say to them? This happened to me. What was I doing? I didn't have a teacher that I trusted and told. Futhi multiracial school, mostly it's white teachers. What will your friends are judging you? They don't know what happened. They are judging you. What do you want with this boy? Hey, when now you know too much. When now you're doing this and this, and they didn't know the basis and the substance of it. Not even only them, but the parents also. They're just seeing a naughty child, but they don't know why is this child behaving like this. So I was in that type of situation where I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell them, this person is forcing me. I'm not here because I want to. This is why I did this and this and this. I didn't have someone or a safe space to do that. So please, make sure that your children are able to tell you about things like this. It's easier now because I'm older. I'm able to go through the timeline to tell. It's now that I'm explaining, now that I'm older. You guys, as parents, you saw a child who was naughty, but this is what was going on. And I couldn't say. It's only now that I can tell the friends that who saw me as someone who likes things, someone who was doing things with boys, that this is what was happening, but you didn't know. And the abuse was so deep because this is an older boy. He would just show up at school where I was, and his uniform, because he was here, in multiracial schools, we know this is Jamestown High, we know this is what High, we know each other now, uniforms. If someone comes and they have a different, that they probably go to school in the location, he would just pop up. I will have to use another gate to escape. Guys, my teens were terrible. That's what I will tell you. My childhood, my teens were terrible. And it's only now when you are self-aware and older that you are able to correct that narrative, to see that, hey, I've been through hell. I need to sit down, feel it, and change the narrative. So yeah, that's what happened, and that's how I lost it. So I didn't understand what was happening at the time. I knew it was wrong. I didn't have anyone to tell, though people were there around me. It's a lot. And some things I'm omitting because I still have people that I need to protect, that I love. That's how it happened. So it had a huge impact in my teen life. I didn't enjoy my teen years. I was always dealing with something. So I had to quickly grow up I had to quickly grow up very soon. And I will tell the story tomorrow. That's what happened after that. So the brokenness was deep. It started showing around my teens. I wasn't okay, but people didn't see. I was a goofy child. The class comedian, that was me. But I see that I was hiding. My sense of humor was because I was hiding that broken child inside me. And growing up in a strict home, there are things that you think you are not allowed to discuss or say because the lines are not properly the boundaries or the lines are not properly drawn. So you don't know what you're allowed to talk about, what you're not allowed to talk about. So I was angry. I looked rebellious. But deep down, I was just a 13-year-old who needed guidance, who was hurting, who was living in fear, and who needed guidance. So I'm not just sharing this for myself. I'm sharing so that you will look at the signs and try to see if your child starts behaving differently. And your child, man. Your child. And don't allow too much privacy. I know kids have their own rooms now. You even give them their phones. There's Wi-Fi. They are on their phones. Why? Go check that phone. Or give yourself access to check what is being spoken about there. Children are being targeted. Children are being groomed by strangers. Someone comes to your door and you wonder, how did you know where I live? They've been talking to your child. A lot of things happen. Don't be the type of parent, you go to work, you come back, you cook, you sleep, you pay school fees. You are an ATM parent. You don't know what is happening in your child's life. You are not checking. Get into the bedroom, open diaries. There might be something there. Take the phone, look at what they are checking on on Google. What are they asking there? Be that type of parent. Don't just buy your TV. I almost said TV station, TV games. Don't just buy things, phones, and all of that. We give our children things like that, but we are not checking who are they talking to, what are they listening to. Even your cartoons is not as safe as you think. So again, your daughter should be able to tell you things. You should be able to say when someone has made them uncomfortable. My daughter is 8. She knows. I ask her from time to time, tell me what is a good and a bad touch. She will show me, this is a bad touch, this is a bad touch, this is a good touch. Do you trust everyone? When someone calls you and says, come inside the house, what do you say? What do you do? Have those type of conversations. Let them tell you about their boyfriends. As young as they are, you get to see and know how they think. And you will be able to correct something that you have heard. So create a home where your child knows that you are their safe space. That even if they mess up, mommy is here. We can fix anything with mommy. Because now imagine if you feel judged by your own parents, if you feel judged by your own friends and people that you are close to, you won't tell them anything, obviously. So we need to create that safe space for children. We are not just protecting children. We are not letting our sons to be touched and groomed and silenced, because predators, they love silence. It's their best friend. So let's break that silence. And with that being said, I'm looking at my time. Yeah, because this one is freestyle and it's about my life. I know even 30 minutes it's okay, but I don't want to bore you to that extreme. So yeah, I'm Busisiwe Mohapi, and this is your healing seeds. And what is your healing seed? What is it that you need healing with? And this is where I'm going to end today. Tomorrow, let me just give you a teaser on what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about my teenage pregnancy, how I fell pregnant and I became a mom while I was a teenager. So that's why I'm saying, hey, minang pumulang. I went from that childhood, that happening, I went to my teens. From my teens, next level, it was always from skaka to skaka, yeah. So because all this trauma, it begins when you're a child, then it manifests itself as you are an adult, and your body now reacts, and you are struggling with trust, you are struggling with healing, you talk with anger, and all these things are happening all at once. So this is the journey, and it's just the beginning. And we can talk until the sun sets, but this is where I want to end it. And with that being said, keep well, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one, where we'll be talking about my teenage pregnancy. Yay, it's about to be lit. Thank you. See you on the next one.